Been wanting to go live for a while. I got YouTube over here, Instagram over here. I figured, it's a rainy day in Southern California, and figured I might as well change my strings. So I got some strings here. Just wanted to hang out for a bit. Got a lot of stuff that I've been working on that, I wanted to record a video. I just started this series called, God, what am I calling it? Riffs That Raised Me. So Riffs That Raised Me, I released a video of To Live Is To Die by Metallica that and I can remember playing that song when I was like 13 years old, something like that. And it was one of those songs that it was the first instance of seeing melody put into chord changes. And that really intrigued me because at the time I really didn't want to sing. So being able to put melody inside of the chord changes that you're doing sounded like a really cool thing to do. So that was kind of my first experience with that type of playing over that middle section of To Live Is To Die by Metallica. And they have a lot of cool, like little clean sections in their songs. And that one just kind of spoke to me. So I'm going to continue on with that series, Riffs That Raised Me, riffs that I learned when I was a kid and that really left an impression on me. Where was I when I first heard the song? That kind of stuff. But the reason I want to change my strings is they're a little dead. I haven't changed them in a while, but there's a song that I want to do next by Soundgarden that was really one of my, I would say inspirational moments for guitar playing. So I wanted to change my strings before recording that video. So that's what I'm going to do today. Oh man, there's people joining. Hello, everyone. I've never done this before, so pretty interesting. 6 people. All right, cool. So I don't know about any of you, but when I change my guitar strings, I just kind of go for it. I don't do one string at a time. A lot of times, if I'm really going to get into it and like clean the guitar and stuff, I want to get underneath the strings and kind of clean out the fretboard and stuff. So I'll take all the strings off. That really you're releasing a lot of tension on that. So that is something that's, some people might shy away from, but it's never really affected my guitar. This is a Taylor that I've had probably since I was like 21. So a good 20 something years. And so that's just always the way I've done it. So I usually just start by lowering all of these, getting them nice and loose. And if you're freaking out, I'm sorry. It's just the way I do it. You don't have to do it this way. Josh Music. All right. Hey there, Josh. Another Josh. Long Live Paint. I like it. My wife paints. So just get it super loose. And then I just kind of go for it. I get one of these, you could use wire cutters or whatever, but this has it like built in, the wire cutters. Hold on one sec here. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second. Wow, a lot of people on here. Cool. Dig it. YouTube, not so much. That's okay there. We have more of a following here on Instagram. So I just get right in there and I cut them all. Just let it happen. And if you're freaking out like, oh my God, what are you doing? It's never bothered my guitar before. But if it bothers yours, do it one string at a time. Clean that fretboard piece by piece. That lemon oil on there. And the thing is, I'm not even going to do that today. I just want to change my strings. So this is going to be pretty quick. And then you have this piece on here. I don't know if you can see that. And that allows you just to pull out. Where's it? Oh, wow. Are you kidding me? This one doesn't have it. I totally lied to you. All right, that's all right. We can just pull them out with our fingers. Take out the little tuning pegs. Turn my phone sideways, please. But this is like vertical. This is Instagram. I'll make sure to show you all the little parts. All right. So I took those strings off. I got the headstock here. I'm just going to take these strings off as well. And they just unwind. Just take them off one at a time. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go super deep in with the lemon oil and all the polish and stuff, but I got a rag over here. I'll just kind of give it a little wipe real quick. Thank you. I love this Taylor. That's Long Live Paint. Hey there, Tablo. Yeah, I love this guitar. Taylor has always been a good, I've had a few Taylors in my time, but this is the one that's been with me the longest. And I got this, I used to work at Sam Ash Music, and this is something I got while I was working there. Let me see if I have a rag here real quick. Something I got when I was working there, and I love this guitar. This is what is the model on this? I think it's a 7, not a 710, a 712, I think, because it's the Grand Concert body style, not the Dreadnought, I think, is 10 series. And then they have like the Grand Auditoriums, but this is a Grand Concert, a little bit smaller of a body. So all the strings off. I got the tuning or the bridge pins right here. And then I use, not all the time, sometimes I'll use Martin strings, but I have a big pack of Diodario 12s. I use those quite often. I like the phosphor bronze. And oh, don't need that. I think they sound good and they're the right price, you know, so we can go with those. All right, so what I need to remember, because I just kind of took these out the other day and I meant to change the strings the other day, but I didn't. So the cool thing about Diodario is they give the different colors for each string. So I have the little guide here. So these are all intertwined together here, but we'll get them all sorted out. How much for strings? I feel like if you buy in bulk, you'll get a better price, obviously, but I think this was like a 10 pack. But I think a set of Diodario strings probably goes for, God, anywhere $8 to $15, depending on where you get them. But I bought this set quite a long time ago, and to be honest, I don't change my strings that often. I kind of like when they get a little muddied out, that kind of dead tone. I don't want them super bright all the time, so I don't change them all that often. But you can get a good set. I also like the Martin Foster Braun SPs, I think they're called. I don't even know if they make them anymore. That's been a minute since I've gotten those. But right now, I'm just taking each one and hooking them up right there. Just you take that bridge pin. Purple is next. Let's see if I can make this easier to see for a second. So that piece is right in there. And then you're just taking that bridge pin and shoving it right on top. And you kind of want to see some of the winding. I don't know if you can see that, but some of the winding of the string right next to the ball end there, in there still. So you don't want a bunch of excess hanging out underneath. I'm kind of not paying too much attention over here to YouTube because, oh, 2 people. I appreciate you. Let me see what's next. We have green, and then black. So these 2. Okay, cool. I appreciate you all that are just kind of hanging out. It's a rainy day here. I got my son taking a nap right now, and so I figured it was the perfect time to change strings. And I've been wanting to do lives for some time and thinking about, what could I do? And this seems like an obvious choice, just kind of hanging out answering questions if there are any questions. But then beyond that, I might start doing some practice sessions, or even just practice sessions of like me practicing stuff that I want to practice. Because to be honest, I don't practice that much anymore. Like I don't have the time. A lot of us got those full-time jobs, or I'm trying to start a business, and my wife's doing the same. We have our son, and there's just a lot going on. So sometimes you don't have that time to practice. So maybe I can make the excuse to practice if I go live, and then it feels like I'm working and not just, letting the day go by. All right, last one here. That one right there. These are 12 to, what are these? 53s. So like a medium gauge string. Nothing crazy. I used to use 13s, but 12 seems like a good place to be. So now I got them all in here, but obviously we need to connect them up here. So I'm just going to take one at a time. And I keep that pinhole right here, if you can see this, just straight. Okay, so the string's going to go straight on through. I'm going to back up here a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So you don't want to start winding that string with no lax in the string. You want to have, like, I usually, some people might do it where I saw someone do it the other day, where they go to the nut here and they go like 2 frets over. And that's pretty good. Like, that seems like a little much to me, but I usually go to the 5th fret. I've just always done it this way, and I'll lift that string up, and I'm looking to get about that high, which is like that high, that much looseness on the string. So then we just go here. I pinch the string with my other hand. Then I got that string winder, and I just start bringing it in. And then when that string comes around, I make sure it goes underneath the part that I initially had it on. And usually I'll have the guitar flat on me here. I'm just trying to show you guys what's going on. So this is a little awkward, but just, you can kind of see I'm lifting. If I do it this way, I'm bringing up the tension with my back fingers, and I'm pushing down with my pointer. And then we just get it going, Just put all that tension on there, and eventually it's going to lock into place. And I'm not trying to get this super, taut just yet. I just want it to be left in place. Switched hands here, go a little faster. And there we go, just like that. You can see that string is nice and tight on there now. Okay, so do this with the others. We got the B string here. Sorry for the noise there. And same thing. So I just kind of lift that string up to where I got about that high above the fretboard over the 5th fret, and then hold that over there and just start winding. When I get about halfway, I'll switch my positioning to where I'm getting that tension on the string and just go. This ends up being a pretty quick process once we get going. And again, I'm not worried about getting them all in tune just yet. I'm just trying to get them on right now, and then later we'll make them more in tune. So who out there is a beginning guitar player, or a guitar player at all? Like, let's see, we have Wolaton. Sorry if I'm butchering names here. Charlie. How long you been playing, Charlie? Hey, Will. Getting these strings on here. Now, got the first 3 on. Just going to move to the top side, and everything kind of flips a little bit because we're just on the other side of the neck here, or other side of the headstock. And I haven't changed it. This is going to be nice, actually, because it's been quite a while since I've changed my strings. I used to change my strings like every 2 weeks, but I was playing a whole lot more then. When I was playing in a band and stuff, like I would probably change them every week and a half to 2 weeks on the electric, on the acoustic, maybe a little longer than that, but don't really need to do that anymore. So let's try to get it back to that point where I feel like I need to change my strings a little more often. That would be nice. Same thing. Now I am winding with my left hand, and I'm keeping that tension over here with my right. And ultimately, you're going to find the way that works for you. But you see a lot of people do like these different knots and stuff along the tuners. You know, I did that before, and then, you know, when I was working at Sam Ash, we had to change a lot of strings on the guitars that we had. And then anyone that knows Sam Ash, they used to sell these like extended service plans, and so we would have to change customer strings and stuff. So I just got to where I realized, at least for me, it never really seemed to matter if you had to do some sort of knot or anything like that. There's so much tension. As long as you get a nice tight wind, they're not going anywhere. So that's just how I've done it for 20 plus years now. Doesn't seem to affect anything. So tell me if you think there's a better way to do it. I'm open to learning still. All right, last one, 6th string here. I think the first thing I'm learning about going live is I can't do both. I'm not going to do the YouTube and Instagram thing at the same time. I feel like I'm focused right here. Sorry, one person. Thank you. All right. So I have all the strings on here, and obviously not in tune. So we just start raising these up a little bit. Again, not looking to be just in tune yet. I'm going to break out my tuner. And really, I just want to get my top E string in tune, and then I'll kind of go from there. Gonna bring these up as I'm going too. No. I'll cut them at the end. There was a time where I would leave these just kind of hanging out, and that's dumb. I don't know. That's not for me, at least. It's not dumb. If you do that, you know, go for it. But yeah, this guy right here is ready to like poke my eye out. That's cool. I just want to kind of get in the general area, and then you can kind of hear it from here. That's going to be super annoying. I apologize. But, you know, part of learning how to do anything is it's going to be annoying from time to time. So when you're changing your strings, you know, maybe do it by yourself. I decided to go live and let you all hear this lovely out of tune guitar right now. But that's just part of it. So still far out of tune. We're not done yet. These strings are going to stretch a little bit here and there. And, you know, they're probably going to fall out of tune over the next day or so, depending on how much I play. But we have enough tension on it now. You can see, you know, it looks like it's strung up again, right? We just got all this mess here that, you know, Brandon, I'm guessing. Brandon, you were saying I'm going to poke my eye out. You're probably right. So I'm going to take these off here. And we'll get that annoying sound gone. That is an annoying sound. And even doing this, clipping these, it's going to fall out of tune. There's so much tension on these strings that little differences here really affect the tuning. Okay, so I'm going to throw this tuner back on. Yep, fell by a half step. And I'm still not worried about getting like a super in tight tune just yet. And at this point, I kind of give it a little pull on each string. Again, I'm trying to get these windings around here super tight, and the string is stretching. So there's going to be a little bit of release of tension as I do this. And the strings are going to go out of tune again. I'll probably do it a couple more times, then play for a little bit. But that's how we get a tune that will hold, right? We get these strings on. We don't want them to fall out of the tune when we are actually playing them. Here we go. A lot closer. Very tinny, very bright sounding guitar right now, which is cool. It sounds really good for like finger picking and stuff like that. Better than paying someone else to change your strings. Absolutely. Learn how to do it. If you're going to play guitar, you should learn how to change your strings. Like it's maintenance stuff, right? And you don't need to be a luthier and know how to do everything on the instrument. You don't even know how to do setups, which, you know, I used to be able to do those. I haven't done a setup on this guitar in forever. I can't remember the last time when. But we are in basically a pretty good tune here. They sound nice. Keep stretching them out. Hey there, Mark. How long you been playing, Mark? Oh, thanks, Brandon. Does sound good. I love this guitar. Like, you know, I used to like the bigger style guitars, the Grand Auditoriums or the Dreadnoughts, and I still they're great guitars. They're certainly louder, and they provide a little bit more bass to your tonality of what you're doing. But the Grand Concert, like, it just feels really good. You don't feel like you're all boxed out. Get this a little bit more. Now, earlier I was talking about this idea of riffs that raised me. I think that's a cool name. I don't know. It seemed fitting. Riffs that really left an impression on me as I was learning guitar. About 30 years, but still a disaster. Hey, you know, that is awesome that you are sticking with it, and, you know, that you enjoy playing, because ultimately this is about enjoyment. If you aren't getting enjoyment out of what you're doing, you know, what's the point? Like, this is supposed to be fun. And I think, you know, you've been playing 30 years, so, you know, you got to be at least around my age, I would think. And, you know, like, we got responsibilities, man. Like, there's stuff going on. You can't, you know, put in that 30 minutes to an hour. I used to practice like 3-4 hours a day when I was a teenager. I don't have that time anymore. So as long as it is bringing enjoyment into your life, that is the point. Every day, love it. That's awesome. You know, you put the time in that you can, and sometimes I even tell students, like, you know, just pick up the guitar for 5 minutes and play something. You don't need to have that structured practice always. If you want a lot of progress, sure, you need to have structure in what you're doing. But if this is about bringing some, like, de-stressing into your life or just some enjoyment, just pick that guitar up, let it do that for you, and don't play those things that are going to bring more stress into your life. Play something that, like, you know, you're going to hit it, it feels good to play it, that's what you're trying to do. Yeah, play what you like and don't worry about what other people do. Exactly, I agree. I agree. So riffs that raise me. I think the next one I'm going to do, I have one recorded already. That I don't know if you. I'll give you a sneak peek, I guess. Um, I'm a '90s kid. I was born in '82, so you know I was kind of a teenager and kid, late kid in the '90s. I was 10 in '92, so um, I grew up in that kind of grunge era, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. I loved metal when I was a kid. Metallica was like the band when I was a kid. But I had also my parents listened to a lot of different music, so I had a good introduction to a lot of different things. So you know, one of the songs I loved Alice in Chains, and they have I can't even remember. Tell me if you know the name of this song. Tell me. I think it's in the off the album Jar of Flies. Still a little out of tune. It's like the third or fourth song of that album. I don't know. Really, um, it's not like it's some super complicated thing, but I love the tonality of that song, just the chord progression. And you know, I kind of leaned towards the more morose kind of, you know, grungy teen angst kind of attitude stuff. So that was right up my alley. Um, but the one that I'm going to record next, and the reason I changed these strings because I wanted it to really kind of pop, was one of the first songs that uh, I learned that in drop D, where I mean, I don't know if anyone plays in drop D tuning, but if you do, the first thing that you naturally do is you have this kind of just first and third finger bar thing. Cool. That sounds really cool. And I was all about that chug, right? But when I first heard the song Black Hole Sun, and I need to remember how to play the song. I'm not sure I remember even how to play it. There it is. So I was almost there. But that was the first song in a drop D tuning where I'm like, oh, there is more than just that kind of stuff that you can do in drop D. The such a cool riff. One more time. So much more you can do in these tunings. So I think that opened up my mind a little bit to the possibilities, and drop D tuning led to things like DADGAD tuning, which I don't even, I think I tried DADGAD tuning because of someone I was playing music with. They had written a song in DADGAD and I had to learn it. So I learned it and I'm like, oh, there's a lot that you can do here. The cool thing about open tunings and stuff like that is if you've kind of learned stuff in a particular tuning, your standard tuning, you'll start to throw shapes that you already know in your standard tuning into these open tunings, and you get these different sounds, obviously, because it's a different tuning. But what's cool is to start to put together like, oh, the A minor shape or whatever shape sounds this way in that tuning. And oh, I can place it in a place that doesn't work in standard tuning and it sounds really good in this DADGAD tuning. So it's just creatively, I think you have to think about this stuff as a playground, right? You are here to um, have fun with it, and learning step by step is great, and I'm all about building foundation with students, absolutely, but there has to be the aspect of play involved as well, where you're just kind of experimenting, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work. And there's a whole lot that doesn't work, but you need to mess around with those things to see what doesn't work. Hey, Summer, all right. How's it going? Um, oh, we got someone over here on YouTube. So hold on one sec. I'm doing good. How are you? I started playing guitar when I was, how old are you in sixth grade? So probably like 11 or 12, I'm going to say, something like that. So whatever sixth grade is, right in there. I'm going to say 11, 12, 13, maybe something like that. And I was immediately hooked. I played piano beforehand. My parents wanted me to play piano. And, I kick myself now because I can play a little bit. I wish I would have stuck with it because it's a beautiful instrument. But it never felt like home, at least as a kid. Maybe I would feel differently now, but, you know, you don't know what you don't know when you're a kid. But guitar, I started playing because I had a school friend in sixth grade. He played guitar, my best friend, and I wanted to play guitar too. Um, but so I took lessons from the same teacher he took lessons with, and guitar just immediately felt like home. Not that I was good right away. I don't mean that. It took time, but it was an instrument that made me want to continue. It made me want to pick the instrument up and play it and mess around and have fun with it. And because of that, that enthusiasm with it, you gain ground on it. You will learn. The most important thing is, I think, finding a way to have fun with it. I think that was part of it. On piano, I wasn't playing songs that like spoke to me at all. With guitar, I was playing stuff that I listened to. And so I wanted to play those songs. So you pick up the instrument, you learn more things. And it's not that maybe it came naturally, maybe a little bit, but it was something that I wanted to spend time doing. And I think that was important. Summer, a song that felt hard for you to play, but now seems easy. Oh gosh. You know, I can tell you there are songs that are still difficult, songs by like Tommy Emmanuel and stuff. Like I wish I could play those like Tommy plays them. And maybe if I practiced 8 hours a day, I would eventually get there. But I love that kind of finger picking style. But there were certainly songs, let me think of an acoustic song that was difficult. I think anything with a bar chord. When you're first starting off, these bar chords are just murder on your hands. So even something like I've done a video on this, Lay Lady Lay by Bob Dylan. This is very easy for me now. And I love the sound of this. And I think this is also a progression in a Mazzy Star song. I can't remember the name of it though. But anything with a bar chord, when you're first starting, is a total challenge. And they're going to sound like this. You're not going to get them ringing out correctly, if at all. And they're going to be killing your hands. But once you get those bar chords down and you build that strength and coordination in your hands to be able to effortlessly move between them, the amount of songs that you are able to play, the library just opens up. You are able to play so many more songs by learning bar chords. And in fact, I'm thinking about making a bar chord course because this is a pain point for a lot of students out there where, okay, I can play A minor, E major, G major, D major, these open chords. Good. Really, that's where you need to start. That's the foundation. You can play a whole lot of songs with those open chords. But as you move into songs that maybe has a bar chord, has a B minor in it, or has an F major in it, which are very common chords that we see in a lot of songs, it provides an extra level of difficulty to people that it's more of a coordination thing, not a strength thing, because I think a lot of people, they get on those bar chords and like, okay, I need to really, crank down on that neck. Yeah, it requires more strength than, let's say, an A minor or a C major, but it doesn't require 10x what that strength is. It's more of a coordination issue. So um, when you are hitting these points, you want to find songs that allow you to practice something repetitively. Okay, so any song, long story short, summer. Um, for what song is easy now that used to be difficult. Any song that has bar chords in it is easy now for the most part. Maybe there's some other aspect of it that can give some difficulty, but for the most part, songs that have these kind of bar chords in them, no challenge anymore. But they are a big hurdle to get over for every person that starts guitar. I've rarely ran into a student that some get it sooner than others, but it's always a point where you have to put in some time to really get that bar chord ringing out correctly. But again, it's a coordination issue more than it is a strength thing. Everyone that I've seen has the strength to do it. It's just more of a challenge to get that coordination in place. So that is my long-winded answer for that. Think music theory is really necessary. This is a really good question. And my answer, which I kind of did a video on this last week, is it depends. I'm going to say not for everyone. I think music theory is great, but what I've seen happen to a lot of students and to a lot of people that I've just known throughout the years that play music, sometimes they get lost in the forest with theory, and they start learning a whole bunch of different stuff, but don't really build the actual physical skills of moving between chord to chord. Now, everyone has different interests, and I would say if you like music theory, learn about it. I think there's merit in learning something that is above your skill level at the moment, and then trying to apply it, maybe not doing it so great in the beginning, but coming back to it eventually. And you're like, oh, I've touched on this before. I'm ahead of the game a little bit because I've read about this before. But music theory, I think for a lot of people, is it necessary to play a song? No. Is there a basic minimum to understand? If that minimum is like knowing what the shapes are, if you're trying to learn the song Helpless by CSNY. Very common chord change, also very similar to like Knocking on Heaven's Door, G major, D major, A minor. Forgive me, it's still a little out of tune, but they're stretching out. G major, D major, C major. It's good to know the names of those chords. Do you need to know that the chord G major is G, F sharp, A, or C major is C, E, G? That's good if you do. You don't need to be able to know that in order to play the song, though. What you do need to be able to do is hold a strumming pattern. What you do need to be able to do is move from chord to chord effortlessly, or at least in a timely manner, and get from one chord, that G major chord, to the D major chord, to the A minor chord, in that fraction of a beat that we have from 4 to 1 to get from one chord to the next. The physicality of it is, in my view, more important, at least in the beginning, than the music theory side of things. And maybe I'm biased, and that's okay. Like, we all have a position, right? I didn't like music theory when I first started learning because I just wanted to play songs and I could play them. So maybe, it kind of kept me from wanting to delve too deeply in it. And my teacher, I had a great teacher, and he would show me some music theory stuff, but he also pushed me towards learning more songs and more riffs, and being able to maybe like write my own song or come up with my own riff. And those things are just as important, and in my estimation, more important than knowing the components of a chord, or the chords that are derived in a key signature. All those things are important and they have their place. I wouldn't tell anyone not to learn them. And I certainly do show students those things as well. But there's a time and a place. And I think music theory for some people, not that it wouldn't do them any good, but what's going to do them more good is learning some songs, having fun with the instrument, continuing to um, evolve in terms of learning songs and learning writing a song, whatever that means. The musical aspect of it, not the why, not the, theory is what we decided as a group to call these things that are sounds. When we put this sound and this sound and this sound together, we're going to agree that we're going to call it this. That's great, but it doesn't change the fact that that sound is that sound. So I think it's more important to um, develop that ear, and we develop that ear through playing and being observant and being like, okay, I'm going to learn this song. And you know what, I went on this tab website, or I watched a video, maybe it was my video, I don't know, and you watched it and you're like, you know what, something about this guy doesn't have a right, or whatever, like there's something, this is right, but this chord here sounds a little off. And I'll give you a good example of this. I'm going to share with you a video that I made that I absolutely messed up on. Um, it was a Nirvana song, and this is should teach me to do my due diligence. Sometimes you just make a video and you're like, okay, let's just get it out. And it was a song about a girl. And I remember learning this song when I was a kid, and it was E minor, G major. And so I was just like, okay, this is a good beginner song. I didn't, check my resources or anything. I checked the source material. I was just like, okay, here's the song. Sounds good. But then I went back and listened to the song. I'm like, that's not right. It's E major. So whatever I had learned when I was a kid, my ear wasn't as trained then. And through the years, my ear has developed through learning other songs and being observant, and where I played it and then I listened back to it, I'm like, this isn't right. I messed up. And that's okay. The point is to continue to evolve as a guitarist and as a musician. And that is one place that you can do it. So music theory, yes, again, long-winded answer, can be important, but I don't think it's important for everyone. And I'm going to stick with that for right now, So, all right. Well, my strings are done. If we got any more, I'm going to check YouTube over here. Gabriel. Hey, I'm not sure if you're still here, Gabe, but let's see. Hi, I've heard that John Mayer, Why Georgia is very difficult. Is that true? You know what? What I'm going to have to do is take a listen to it and figure it out, because I don't. How does that? Da, da. I just know the song very loosely in my mind right now, so. Yeah, I think it's something like that. So I would have to actually listen to it to tell you if it's actually difficult, because I'm just going off of what's in my head here, and that's kind of how I hear the song in my head. Does that sound? Hey, Gabe, you're here. Does that sound good? Does that sound like close? I'm sure it's not the exact thing that he's doing, but it's in that vein, and that's what I mean. Like, by developing your ear, you can kind of. I think that was always a strong suit, because I wanted to learn a lot of songs, so I would spend a lot of time listening to them and trying to be super discerning on what was going on, to where. I obviously didn't get it right all the time, but I was trying to develop that ear to where I could hear something, or even just have it in my head and be like, oh, I can kind of figure that out. And I think that's important, to be able to listen to something, use your instrument and even your voice. Like, if you hear a bass line or a scale, being able to kind of vocalize that as well. Doesn't need to sound good. Just you need to be able to hit a pitch with your voice, because that, if you can hit that pitch with your voice, then you can kind of, oh, I'm looking for da. Okay, there it is. Oh, I was singing a B. All those things allow you to develop what you're doing. That sounds way close. I just hear but he was struggling with it. Yeah, maybe a little bit, uh, but not bad for the first time. So I'm gonna have to come back and really learn it for you. But to be honest, I'm surprised. I remembered. I'm horrible with song names, so I'm just happy that I put together that "Why Georgia" was that song. So in my mind, that was a win. um, have I ever listened to John Fahey? You know what? Again, that's the same thing with song names. It's very likely that I have, but I can't put it together right now. But I'm going to look it up. John Fahey is that person good? Is John good? What kind of music do they play? Oh, okay. So Gabe says that sounds very close. I just hear my buddy struggling with it. Hey, it's okay to struggle. He just told me that his buddy's next to him and he's pissed off that he's not getting it right. Well, don't get too pissed off. Just keep at it. This stuff isn't a overnight thing, but the important thing is to just have fun with it. So even the struggle of it. Hey there, who's this? Quartz something. Nice to meet you. All right. Finger picking. Okay, yeah. You know, uh, I think for me, I'm going to be really. I kind of latched onto a few guitarists that I would just listen to a whole bunch of, and then I would write a bunch of songs or write a bunch of riffs and stuff. So, as far as a lot of guitarists, I'm definitely gonna have to listen to this guitar player. I love Tommy Emmanuel. Um, but even I love singer songwriter stuff and weird stuff. Like, I don't know if you've ever listened to Tom Waits. Just good songwriting too really does it for me. So I was never super into the guitar hero, if that makes sense, like 50 miles a minute. Like, some of it's super impressive, and I certainly wanted to play like that when I was younger. But I think that I love a good song, and I think it's really hard to write a good song that is both, um, what is it? It's simple, not easy, if that makes sense. But John Fahey, if I'm going to scroll back up here, make sure I got that right. Yeah, John Fahey. I'm going to check that out. Thank you for the recommendation. Always looking for new music to listen to. Oh man, what this is telling me is that I need to listen to a lot of more music, because I get stuck in my lane where I just like listen to what I want, and you know, I listen to a lot of soundtrack music, a lot of like orchestral stuff, John Williams and Thomas Newman. My wife and I love Thomas Newman, um, Mark Isham. Uh, I am currently learning "Bite Your Nails" by Marcin. What are your thoughts on it? Well, I will have to take a listen to it and give you my thoughts later, because I don't know. He's a YouTube guitarist. Huh? This is really bad. I should know that he's a YouTube guitarist, but I really just kind of stay in my lane. I'm putting my stuff out and doing my thing. I should probably engage more, which is why I am here doing this live. Trying to get out and talk to everybody more. I appreciate all the follows over this last year. I started doing this in January of last year, and so we just hit the year mark that I've been doing Kenson Guitar Academy. And I've wanted to do lives for like the last 6 months and just haven't. So this is a good thing that I now know I can just like hit a button and we're live. So that's good. Um, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If I see anything else, I will try to answer it real quick here. I'm thinking that's pretty much it, though. I appreciate everyone that came out and sent a question and kept me company while I was changing my guitar strings. And look out for those riffs that raised me YouTube shorts and reels and whatnot, because I think there's a lot of cool songs there. And I think everyone could use a little nostalgia from time to time. So I'm going to look back on some riffs that really kind of left an impression on me and make some videos about those. So cool. Well, Thank you again. All right, Gabriel, thank you. Thank you for being a part. Brandon, thank you. That was a lot of fun. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. All right, Instagram's ended. How do I end YouTube? Oh, it's this big button that says end stream. All right, cool. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.